All right, now we've got another current event to talk about. Have you heard of Tapestry Farms? It's a nonprofit urban farm based in Davenport. From the outside, it looks like a shipping container, but inside, hydroponic or vertical farming is being used to grow fresh produce. And much of that produce benefits refugees and their families as they rebuild their lives here in the Quad Cities. It's all about minimizing the effects of food deserts on our marginalized communities here locally. And on Friday night, Tapestry Farms is holding its Spring Fling benefit. Joining us now to talk about this is Tapestry's board president, Hans Schneckla. Hans, thank you so much for joining us. I understand you're in your tractor today. What are you doing out in the field?
That's true. I'm working my day job today, planting little corn up here in Clinton County, Iowa. So
I love it. Double duty for us today. You planting corn is quite different from Tapestry Farms and how they work. What are some of the veggies that Tapestry grows?
yeah, so you mentioned the hydroponic containers. So those in there we grow mostly leafy greens, but we're actually coming up on our outdoor growing season where we utilize, I think, 8 plots in the city of Davenport and Bettendorf and grow anything from your typical garden vegetables like cabbage, tomatoes, peppers, to some more culturally appropriate foods like intori, which is a African eggplant, and lenga, which is another leafy green type of vegetable.
I'm glad you brought up those plants specifically because Tapestry's work is to minimize food deserts, get food to marginalized communities. How specifically does Tapestry also help support local refugees?
Yeah, so in terms of food, a big part of feeling like you're home is having food that is readily available and familiar to you. And so that's kind of, I always split Tapestry into 2 parts basically. So that's one side is the food growth and feeding people. And then the other side is what I describe as, or what Anne has described as the long welcome or the long hello. So an organization like World Relief creates the kind of initial contact and resettlement in the Quad Cities, and then that's where our work. When their work sunsets, then we step in and help finding long-term stable housing. Anything from transportation to working on citizenship. Basically anything that is a hurdle to becoming a vibrant member of the community.
I love it. So the Friday's benefit, what kind of an impact will this money have on Tapestry's mission?
Yeah, I mean, financially, it's huge. It's a big part of our budget every year. It allows us to not only directly assist individuals that we're working with, but it allows us to pay our staff a livable wage, which I really value. And then, on top of that, we really rely on the exposure of events like this to just kind of continue building and growing the community that we're trying to create around this organization and this work.
Can you talk about that for a second? I mean, it's stated on your website, but for people that haven't heard of Tapestry before, what kind of community are you guys looking to build?
I mean, we want because a lot of our clients are referrals, either from other community organizations or just, somebody looking for help beyond what they initially received when they got here. And so we're trying to build that network. We're also, we're constantly growing. So, every once in a while we need a new staff member when people move on and you mentioned the hydroponic container. That was a product of a community partnership that we really never even saw coming. And that was with the Deer Foundation. And that hopefully will be a really strong asset for us for years to come.
In the few seconds we have left, what can people look forward to this Friday night?
Unfortunately, you'll probably have to listen to me speak for no more than a minute or 2. And then we're looking to hear from a former client of ours whose name is Fidel. He was born in a refugee camp in Burundi, moved here when he was 17, and is currently a student at St. Ambrose. So you'll hear from him, also our lead sponsor, XPAC. And then the rest of the night is just like I said, community building. We'll have a silent auction, but that won't, that you can kind of come and go from that as you please. So we're just looking to have a gathering of people that care about our work, and it's kind of our launching off point to the busyness of the summer growth in the actual food growth in the gardens.
It's going to be a good night. Hans, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You guys at home, the Spring Fling is this Friday night at 6 p.m. at the Quad Cities Waterfront Convention Center in Bettendorf. We have all the information as well as a link to purchase your tickets on our website underneath the As Seen on TV tab.